Welcome to ThinkSpace, a place where ideas become clearer, minds become stronger, and better thinking creates a better life. I'm really glad you're here. For the next few minutes, there is nothing you need to fix, nowhere you need to rush, and no one you need to impress. Just listen, because today, we're going to explore one simple question. Why doesn't life change, even when we truly want it to? Almost everyone has experienced this. You promise yourself that this year will be different. You'll finally exercise regularly. You'll stop procrastinating. You'll read more books. You'll learn a new skill. You'll become more confident. For a few days, everything feels exciting. Then life becomes busy. Old habits quietly return. Weeks pass. Months pass, and one day you realize that nothing has really changed. If this has happened to you, I want you to know something. It doesn't mean you're lazy, it doesn't mean you lack discipline, and it certainly doesn't mean you're incapable of building a better life. The real reason is much more interesting. Most people are trying to change their results without changing the system that creates those results. Imagine placing a bucket under a leaking ceiling. Every few hours, you empty the bucket. The floor stays dry for a while, but the leak never stops. The bucket is not the problem. The ceiling is. Many of us live exactly like this. We try to fix today's problems without asking what keeps creating them. We want confidence without changing how we speak to ourselves. We want better health without changing our daily routines. We want deeper relationships without changing how we listen. The visible problem usually isn't the real problem. The system underneath is. Here's something fascinating. Your brain loves familiarity more than improvement. Think about that for a moment. Not happiness, not success. Familiarity. Even when your current habits make you unhappy, your brain often prefers them simply because they are familiar. That's why change feels uncomfortable. Your brain isn't asking, "Is this good for me?" It's asking, "Have we done this before?" If the answer is yes, it feels safe. If the answer is no, it feels uncertain. Understanding this changes everything. When something new feels uncomfortable, don't immediately assume it's the wrong path. Sometimes discomfort is simply your brain meeting something unfamiliar. Every meaningful skill you've ever learned began this way. Walking, driving, speaking another language, playing an instrument. At first, everything felt awkward, not because you were failing, because your brain was building new pathways. Growth almost always feels unfamiliar before it feels natural. Now let me ask you another question. What story do you tell yourself every day? Most people don't realize they have one, but they do. Maybe your story sounds like this. I'm just not a disciplined person. I've never been good with money. I'm too old to start. I'm not creative. I always give up. Here's the interesting part. Your brain listens carefully to every sentence you repeat. Eventually, it stops asking whether the story is true. It simply begins acting as if it is. Imagine planting the same seed every morning. After enough time, you shouldn't be surprised when the same tree keeps growing. Your thoughts work the same way. The stories you repeat become the beliefs you live. So instead of asking, "How do I change my life?" try asking, "What story am I rehearsing every day?" Changing that story may change far more than you expect. Let's talk about attention. Many people believe that time is their most valuable resource, but I think attention is even more valuable because attention determines how you experience your time. Imagine two people walking through the same park. One notices litter on the ground. The other notices children laughing, birds singing, and sunlight moving through the trees. They walked through the same park, but they experienced completely different worlds. Life often works this way. Your attention quietly builds your reality. This doesn't mean ignoring problems. Problems deserve attention. But if problems receive 100% of your attention, your world eventually begins to look like one giant problem. Ask yourself today, what deserves more of my attention? Learning, health, family, curiosity, peace? Where your attention goes, your life gradually follows. There is another habit that quietly changes successful people. They become curious before they become judgmental. When something goes wrong, most people immediately ask, who's responsible? Or, why does this always happen? Curious people ask different questions. What can I learn from this? What am I missing? What would happen if I tried another approach? Curiosity opens doors that judgment keeps closed. Every great scientist, every inventor, every explorer, every lifelong learner shares one thing in common. They remain curious long after other people believe they already know enough. Here's a simple idea that has changed many lives. Small improvements are never small. Imagine an airplane changing its direction by just 1 degree. At first, the difference is almost impossible to notice. But after thousands of miles, the destination is completely different. Life works exactly the same way. One healthier meal, one page of reading, one kind conversation, one evening without endless scrolling, one extra hour of sleep. Each decision seems insignificant, but they never stay insignificant. Tiny actions become habits. Habits become character. Character becomes destiny. Never underestimate small decisions repeated consistently. Now let's talk about something many people misunderstand. Motivation. People often wait until they feel motivated before they begin. But motivation is unreliable. Some mornings, you'll have plenty of it. Some mornings you won't. If your future depends on your feelings, your progress will always be unpredictable. Professionals understand something different. Action creates motivation, more often than motivation creates action. You don't become motivated and then exercise. You begin exercising, and motivation often follows. You don't suddenly feel like writing. You write a few sentences, and inspiration begins to appear. Motion creates momentum. Waiting creates delay. If there's something you've been postponing, don't ask yourself whether you feel ready. Ask yourself, can I spend just 5 minutes on it? 5 minutes is enough to begin. And beginning is usually the hardest part. Now I'd like you to imagine meeting yourself 10 years from today. Not a perfect version, not a famous version, just a wiser version. What advice do you think that future person would give you? Would they tell you to worry more? Probably not. Would they tell you to compare yourself with more people? Almost certainly not. I think they would probably say something much simpler. Protect your health. Protect your attention. Keep learning. Spend time with people who make you better. Don't let fear make your decisions. And remember that ordinary days are quietly creating an extraordinary future. We often imagine that life changes because of dramatic moments. But if you look closely, you'll notice something else. Most meaningful change happens quietly. A book, read 1 chapter at a time. A friendship, built 1 conversation at a time. Trust earned 1 promise at a time. Wisdom gained 1 lesson at a time. There is beauty in slow progress. Nature understands this. Trees don't rush. The sunrise doesn't hurry. The seasons never compete with one another. Yet everything arrives exactly when it's ready. Perhaps we could learn something from that. Maybe your life doesn't need more pressure. Maybe it needs more consistency, more patience, more awareness, more intentional choices. Before we finish today, I'd like to leave you with a simple daily practice. At the end of each day, ask yourself 3 questions. What did I learn today? What am I grateful for today? What is one small thing I can do tomorrow that my future self will thank me for? Don't try to change your entire life overnight. Just answer those 3 questions honestly. Day after day, week after week, year after year. You may be surprised by how much your life begins to change, not because you became a different person, but because you became a slightly wiser version of yourself every single day. As we come to the end of today's conversation, I hope you'll remember this. Your future is not built by one extraordinary decision. It is built by thousands of ordinary decisions that nobody else sees. The thoughts you choose, the habits you protect, the books you read, the conversations you have, the questions you ask, the attention you give. Every one of these is quietly shaping the person you are becoming. So don't worry about changing your entire life today. Simply make one better decision than yesterday. Then repeat it tomorrow, and the day after that. Real transformation is rarely dramatic. It is quiet, steady, almost invisible, until one day you look back and realize that everything has changed, not because of one perfect moment, but because you never stopped taking small steps forward. Thank you for spending this time with me. If today's conversation gave you a new way of thinking, I hope you'll join us again. Here at ThinkSpace, we believe that better thinking creates better decisions, and better decisions create a better life. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and always make space to think. Goodbye.